So a very disappointing end to 2022 on home soil for the Republic of Ireland, beaten 2-1 by Norway. Stewie Byrne alongside me as always on commentary. Wasn't great.
Yeah, it wasn't great, yeah. But saying that, I would take away some positives from Ireland's point of view. I have to say second half they were better. Took their goal really well. Alan Brown, I think we've proved then, well, not to be proved, but we certainly showed that we've got goals in the team. However, it was disappointing leading up to that. I think Norway, to be fair to them, came with a very good game plan, stopped us from playing. And when you look at the first half possession, what was it, 60-40? I don't know.
62% possession for Ireland.
Not often that you would have that in an Ireland game.
Almost twice as many passes.
Yeah, especially against the Norwegian team. But I suppose the takeaway really is that we've defended poorly for two set pieces, which is not really like us, and something that we should never forget, because Ireland teams in the past have always been based on a good foundation of not conceding goals the way we've conceded tonight.
And what about Stephen Kenny's? Because this is becoming a big issue, that Ireland are giving away either soft goals in open play or conceding from set pieces. And all right, they're going up against Martin Odegaard, who is brilliant with his deliveries, and both of them are really good deliveries.
Well, the first one was, second one wasn't. But yeah.
But why are Ireland conceding so many goals so often from positions where they should do better? Is that working the training ground?
No, I think that should be a reminder to the team that you just don't concede sloppy goals. There should always be a voice or voices in those situations that's roaring out. No easy free kicks, no easy headers, that kind of stuff. It was John Egan for the first goal who lost Odegaard. Now John has been so good for us. He's the captain. You wouldn't associate normally with that. And I think that's a goal that he's just going to put his hand up and saying, I got done. But unfortunately, not just he's not the only one that's gotten done. I thought we were poor for the second goal as well, and it's I suppose it's the balance of the team is still in flux a little bit, whereby we're trying to expand on our possession-based game. We're trying to be a little bit more creative, be a little bit more dynamic, be a little bit more attacking. And the result of that is that we're taking our eye a little bit off the ball when it comes to the basics. Yeah, the basics. And you only have to look at this game and the Armenian game, and you realise the 4 goals we've conceded in the 4 games were goals we never conceded before.
Possession stats, impressive, but possession for possession's sake is somewhat pointless. And in the first half, it felt as though Ireland had a lot of possession, but were never going anywhere. Do they need to have as much possession as they had? Because they'd less possession in the second half, they took a few more risks, and it seemed to suit the team an awful lot better.
Do we need? Well, no, you never really need to have as much possession. If it's not. What
I'm saying is, are they having so much possession because they never take any risks? It's all Josh Cullen playing simple balls.
I think there can be a bit of that. Yeah, I think there can be a bit of that. I think one of the takeaways for me tonight was that Norway did a very good job of stopping that direct pass to Matt Doherty, but where we let ourselves down, because he was in some wonderful positions in that first half and that second half, where what we didn't utilise was somebody who could get the ball out of their feet and get them away early. We tried it on a couple of occasions, but it was very obvious. It wasn't in behind the full back. It didn't have that kind of pace on it. So I think that's a weapon we're still struggling with. And Matt is the kind of player where we've seen him when he's at his best at either Wolves or at times with Tottenham. He needs that. If we're going to play him the way we want to play him, we need to have someone that can get the ball out to him. Otherwise, I think it's a catch-22. How do you fully utilise him? If you're going to ask Matt to go and play high and wide, you need to have somebody who can get him away. Otherwise, get him in and maybe a little bit more narrow, a little bit more into an area where he can get on the ball and he can affect the game better. So he was effectively ineffective, if there is such a phrase, tonight.
No, you just made it up. Michael Obafemi, particularly in that first half, was another one who just couldn't get himself into the game. Second half, when it opened up again, he was dropping deeper. He had some nice touches. He was making a nuisance of himself. Is that just experience, or is that the way the team was set up?
I think it's a bit of both. Yeah, I think it is a bit of experience, because an experienced player would have realised tonight that, do you know what, I'm not getting the help I might have gotten in other games. He played up front with Robinson, but not really not close with Robinson. Normally he would have played up there with Ogbene, Tripartite as a three. They're a little bit closer together. There's help there. Didn't really get that help. Didn't get that sort of attacking midfielder getting up to him, running past him. So there was times in the game where he just needed to put his foot on the ball, hold it up, and just lay off the simple pass. But maybe guilty of getting caught up a little bit and trying to do too much when he didn't really need to do it. And obviously, when you come up against a very well set up Norwegian team like they did tonight, they're going to give the ball away.
Callum O'Dowda came back into the side tonight, first start for 2 years, saw an awful lot of the ball down the left hand side. It'd be interesting to hear from Stephen Kenny why he went with that selection, with both Brady and McLean on the bench and all the experience that they have, and Callum O'Dowda playing and having probably a bit more defensive responsibility than he'd be used to. Does he look like a viable option in that position now?
I think so. I do. I do think so. I think there was times when he was called in to, especially when Pedersen came down this right hand side, to really show how good of a defender he might be, and he dealt with it. He dealt with it on a couple of occasions. Bob was played in behind him. He recovered like you would expect a normal fullback to do. But then, of course, he is a more natural attacking player. He's got a lovely left foot, and at times in that second half he showed serious pace, especially for the goal, for Brown's goal. It was basically O'Dowda getting the ball wide, back in his pace, just knocking the ball down the line, old school wise, gets the delivery in, Norway clear, and then we end up, Brown has scored a wonderful goal from that header out. But I certainly think he's done himself a few favours. All right, absolutely.
This game, particularly the first half, is probably a good endorsement of the Nations League and not having too many friendlies, because I don't think Norway would have been particularly pleased with that first 45 minutes either. They never really impacted the game in any great way. So with all that in mind, and the way the second half went, and the fact that Ireland ended up losing this game, the same questions are going to be asked that feels like Groundhog Day having this conversation.
It does feel like Groundhog Day. Every game feels like Groundhog Day.
Are Ireland getting any better?
I think we're at a stage now where results determine it, Nate.
But their next game is against France.
Yeah.
Can you determine what they do on the result against France?
Yeah, well, the one thing we can't do is be defeatist in the lead up to that game. We have to put our faith in the team that once the Euros qualifiers start in March, it's sink or swim. That's it. It's as simple as that. No more excuses. Stephen will have been on the job how long? Three and a half years, whatever. How long it's been?
Heading towards 3 years.
Yeah, with COVID, everything seems like it's 8 years. But there'll be no more excuses. He knows that. The team knows that. What we can't fall into is this trap of just defeating ourselves before we've even kicked the ball in a competitive qualifier. Everything's been aimed for that, and the manager's been given the time to prepare for that. So once March comes around, it's like I say, it's sink or swim.
Cheers, Stewie.
Thank you.